As I sit at my ornate vanity, I am filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation on what is undoubtedly the most significant day of my life. Well, the second most significant. If I reflect on that pivotal evening from my past, without that fateful moment long ago, this day and everything leading up to it would not exist. Let me take you back and explain how everything unfolded. From an early age, specifically at the tender age of 5, I began to sense that I was different from those around me. Though I had been assigned male at birth, deep down, I knew I was a girl. My childhood days were often spent in the lively company of my neighbors' daughters, where I found joy in their games and laughter, preferring their company over that of the boys nearby. I would watch in awe as they twirled in dresses, the fabric catching the light, and I envied the way they donned colorful accessories that sparkled as they played. Emotions ran deep within me, often surfacing in bursts of joy and, at times, overwhelming sadness. My older brother would sometimes tease me, pointing out how my mannerisms seemed more feminine, calling me out for walking with a sway or for the way I innocently mimicked the girls. Yet I felt no shame in my essence, it was simply who I was. My father embodied the quintessential image of a man's man, exuding strength and traditional masculinity in every aspect of his life. He found it intolerable to have a son who did not fit his ideals, viewing my uniqueness as something to be corrected. Despite his relentless attempts to mold me into the son he envisioned, his efforts only served to deepen my resolve to embrace my femininity. Each push for conformity sparked a stronger expression of who I truly was, illuminating the contrast between his expectations and my authentic self. My father ultimately made the difficult decision to leave my mother, taking my older brother with him. This left me staying behind with Mom, in our now quieter home. In the midst of this transition, my Aunt Barbara stepped in to help us, moving in and settling into my brother's room as if it were her own, filling the space with her presence and support during this challenging time. The allure of my mother's and aunt's wardrobes was irresistible. Their garments, often brimming with vibrant colors and delicate fabrics, beckoned to me like a treasure chest waiting to be explored. I would sneak into their rooms whenever the opportunity arose, my heart racing with excitement as I slipped into their dresses, feeling the soft material drape around me like a warm embrace. Everything about it felt so undeniably right. By the time I reached my late teens, I had sprouted to the same height and size as my mother and aunt, making their beautiful clothes fit me as if they were made for me alone. Each piece I wore transformed me, allowing me to express the girl I had always known I was inside. I would rummage through their dresses, skirts, tops, shoes, and nightgowns, each piece whispering stories of the past, and experiment with various outfits, marveling at how they transformed my appearance and made me feel. The thrill of those clandestine moments filled me with a mix of excitement and curiosity, each time a new adventure and self-discovery. While rummaging through the depths of my mother's closet, my attention was suddenly caught by a bulky garment bag, partially obscured by the shadows. As I tugged it free, its weight surprised me, and I felt a rush of curiosity. I carried it to my mother's beautifully made bed, the fabric swaying gently in my grasp. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, I unzipped the bag, unveiling a vision that took my breath away: my mother's wedding dress. The fabric was a stunning white satin, soft and lustrous, adorned with delicate lace that seemed to whisper stories of love. Twinkling pearl beads shimmered like stars, intricately embroidered into the design, adding an air of elegance to the gown. In that enchanting moment, I was filled with a longing, a desire to one day stand in the same breathtaking dress, embracing the stunning possibilities of love and commitment. But I understood that I would have to wait for the perfect moment, a time when the house was peaceful and mine alone. With a gentle hand, I zipped the bag back up, tucking away the cherished memory for another day, before sliding it back into the safety of the closet. Then, on one unforgettable evening in October, a stroke of good fortune graced me. My mother and aunt were preparing for a night out, adorned in striking attire that hinted at their adventurous spirits. My mother, exuding confidence, wore a tantalizing red satin blouse that clung to her form, its fitted sleeves accentuating her elegance. Around her neck, a delicate black velvet choker held a shimmering silver open heart pendant, glinting in the low light. Her silver hoop earrings swayed gently with her movements, catching the eye, while a sleek black leather pencil skirt shaped her silhouette flawlessly. She completed the look with enticing black stockings and chic black leather ankle strap, high heel pumps that clicked rhythmically on the hardwood floor. My aunt, similarly captivating, donned a flowing red silk dress that danced gracefully around her, its fabric catching the light and enhancing her every step. Both women radiated beauty and allure, leaving me in awe. How I longed to step into the world as the girl I truly felt I was. As my mother leaned in to kiss me goodbye, a rush of excitement coursed through me. After they left, I counted a few moments, savoring the quiet, and then I locked the door, ensuring my sanctuary was secure. I closed the blinds softly, eager for the night ahead. I entered my mother's bathroom and ran a hot bath. I placed several scented bath beads in the water, and soon the bathroom was filled with the fragrance of lavender and jasmine. I then stripped down and took my mother's hair removal cream from her bathroom vanity. I applied the cream all over my body. My body hair was thin, but I wanted a truly smooth look for this special occasion. I waited for the required 10 minutes before stepping into the standalone shower to wash off the cream. As it rinsed away, it took all the hair off my body. I stepped out of the shower and slid into the warm bathtub. The water felt wonderful on my newly smoothed skin. I washed with my mother's scented body wash and soaked in the tub for about 10 minutes. Afterward, I got out and pulled the drain. My body felt so soft, it was amazing how feminine I felt. My mother had purchased several wigs, but I could not understand why, because she has beautiful hair. I will choose a wig for tonight. After drying myself thoroughly, I stepped back into my mother's room, feeling a mix of excitement and nostalgia. I approached the lingerie drawer, my heart racing as I opened it to reveal the delicate pieces within. Nestled among the fabrics was a stunning bridal set crafted from soft white satin and intricate lace. The corset was nothing short of exquisite, with its elegant design hugging the curves of the body just right. The matching panties and garters completed the ensemble, each piece a perfect complement that promised to transform me into a vision of a bride. Yes, tonight I was determined to wear the wedding dress. Before donning that gown, however, I knew I needed my favorite accessories to complete the look. Among my mother's belongings, I had found silicone breasts, an item I had never fully understood her need for, but one that offered a certain allure. Carefully, I retrieved the cups, admiring their lifelike texture and shape. With deliberate movements, I applied double-sided adhesive to the backside of each silicone breast. As I peeled off the protective layer from the other side, a rush of anticipation flowed through me. I positioned them gently against my chest, taking care to align them perfectly. I pressed down firmly, holding them in place until I felt the adhesive bind securely. Once the process was complete, I stepped back to admire my reflection. I marveled at the transformation. The silicone breasts felt surprisingly real against my skin, warm and weighted in a way that added a new dimension to my appearance. I sat down at my mother's vanity, the surface scattered with beauty products, and the faint scent of her favorite perfume lingering in the air. I picked up her foundation, a creamy formula that promised to blend seamlessly with the skin. With careful, deliberate strokes, I applied the foundation to the area where the silicone breasts met my body, taking extra time to ensure that each line was blended flawlessly. I worked meticulously, finessing the edges so that the transition was imperceptible, as if my body and the breasts were one continuous form. Once I was satisfied with the foundation's seamless appearance, I reached for the satin corset. Its soft fabric caught the light, shimmering gently as I held it up. I aligned the cups with my breasts, feeling the snug embrace of the corset as I pulled it taut around my waist. Each lace ribbon was tightened with care, shaping my figure and accentuating my curves. I then carefully slid on a pair of delicate panties, tucking my male anatomy securely up and in, ensuring everything was smooth and hidden away. Next, my eyes fell on her white silk stockings, almost ethereal in their delicateness. As I pulled them up my legs, a soft shiver ran through my body. The cool silk glided against my skin, enhancing the smoothness of my legs. Each inch of fabric felt luxurious, making me feel more feminine with every moment. I fastened the stockings to the garter belt, snapping each one in place with a satisfying click, creating a delicious tension that heightened my sense of anticipation. Standing up, I reveled in the sensation of my transformation. The weight of my breasts felt delightful against my chest, and the gentle pull of the garter belt added an exciting reminder of the ensemble I had created. I looked in the mirror, feeling a rush of joy as I admired the reflection before me. In that moment, I was in heaven. As I settled back down at her vanity, I took a moment to appreciate the organized chaos of beauty products surrounding me. I squeezed out some foundation onto my fingertips, marveling at its smooth texture, and began to apply it to my skin. The coverage was impeccable, creating a flawless canvas. Next, I reached for the eyebrow pencil and carefully shaped my brows into a delicate feminine arch. I meticulously filled in any sparse areas, ensuring that they framed my face perfectly. With my brows complete, I turned my attention to my eyes. I selected a soft eyeshadow in a warm hue and gently swept it across my eyelids, blending it seamlessly. I then picked up the eyeliner, drawing a precise line along my lash line to enhance the shape of my eyes. The final touch was the mascara. As I applied it, my lashes transformed into long, luscious strands, giving my eyes a captivating allure. To add a healthy glow, I dusted a light blush across my cheeks, which brightened my complexion beautifully. Finally, I focused on my lips, which would be the crowning touch of my look. I carefully traced the outline with lip liner, ensuring a defined shape, and then filled them in with a rich, creamy lipstick. As I finished, I looked into the mirror and saw a young woman staring back at me, her reflection radiating confidence and femininity. I rose from the vanity, a mix of excitement and nervousness coursing through me, and made my way into my mother's closet. The air inside was tinged with a familiar scent of her perfume and memories. I carefully retrieved the prize for tonight, my wedding dress. As I unzipped the bag, the soft rustle of fabric filled the silent room. I gently lifted out the delicate petticoats and hoop skirts, each layer whispering against my fingertips. I placed them on the bed with great care, ensuring their elegance was preserved. Next, I retrieved the veil, a cascade of ethereal white fabric that caught the light, along with the delicate blue garter, a sweet touch of tradition. I arranged these pieces neatly on the bed, each one a symbol of this momentous occasion. With bated breath, I finally took the wedding dress from its bag. It shimmered in the soft light, the intricate lace and satin begging to be admired. As I hung it on the hook of my mother's door, the dress seemed to exude an aura of anticipation. I stepped back and gazed at it, feeling a sense of readiness wash over me. Tonight was the night I had dreamed of, and I was prepared to embrace every moment. I made my way back to my mother's closet. Among the neatly organized shoes, I spotted a stunning pair of white satin high heel pumps, their glossy finish reflecting the soft light. The heels stood at 3 inches, elegant yet daring. With a gentle excitement, I reached for them, my fingertips brushing over the smooth fabric as I carefully retrieved the shoes. Slipping my feet into them, which were clad in delicate silk, felt almost like a ritual. I stood up, relishing the sensation of the soft satin against my skin, and the subtle arch of the heel supporting me. Having worn my mother's and aunt's heels for quite some time, the act of walking in them had become second nature. I took my first step, and the satisfying click-click sound echoed on the hardwood floor, each sound a reminder of the confidence these shoes inspired in me. I continued to walk, the rhythm of my steps resonating through the room, each stride a delightful blend of grace and familiarity. I reached for the petticoat, its layers of delicate tulle and soft netting exuding a whimsical charm. The underskirt of smooth satin felt luxurious against my skin as I slipped into it, savoring the sensation. With a gentle tug, I zipped it up behind me, the fabric whispering softly as it settled into place. As I fluffed it out, the shape and volume of the petticoat became strikingly apparent, transforming my silhouette into something almost magical, full of elegance and grace. I carefully picked up the multi-hoop skirt, its fabric shimmering under the light. With a gentle motion, I slid it over my head, feeling the cool material cascade down my body. As I positioned it around my waist, I aligned the intricate layers of hoops, ensuring they lay perfectly. Finally, I reached back and zipped it into place, securing the skirt snugly as it flared out elegantly around me. My heart raced wildly against my ribcage in anticipation of the gown, a swirl of excitement tightening in my chest. Before I could unveil the beautiful dress, I carefully reached for the delicate blue satin and lace garter. With precision, I began to slide it up my leg, feeling the cool fabric touch my skin as it nestled gently against my thigh, adding an extra layer of elegance to the moment. The rich, deep color resonated with warmth, and as I slipped it on, I felt a transformation, embracing a new sense of womanhood that enveloped me in confidence. I realized I needed the perfect accessories to complete my look. I remembered that my mother owned a beautiful set of pearl earrings and a matching necklace. However, I could only find the earrings. With my ears already pierced, it was an easy choice to adorn them with the elegant pearl teardrop pendants, which gracefully dangled and caught the light as I put them on. The delicate pearls added a touch of sophistication and perfectly complemented my ensemble. I reached for my mother's favorite perfume, its elegantly designed bottle reflecting the soft light as I held it in my hands. With a delicate touch, I spritzed the fragrant mist onto my wrists, letting the scent envelop me like a warm embrace. I turned the bottle towards my neck, allowing the sweet and floral notes to create a subtle cloud around me. Finally, I applied a touch between my breasts, where the fragrance blossomed, filling the air with an intoxicating allure. The captivating aroma lingered, evoking memories and sensations that felt both comforting and enchanting. Now for the grand prize, I walked over to the wedding gown. The 1980s Alfred Angelo satin ball wedding gown is a stunning embodiment of that era's romantic yet bold fashion. Crafted from luxurious satin, the gown shimmers softly in the light, capturing attention with its opulent silhouette. The Queen Anne neckline beautifully frames the collarbone, elegantly balancing the fitted bodice that hugs the waist before cascading into a voluminous skirt. The long fitted satin sleeves, adorned with delicate pearl trim, add an air of sophistication and grace while gently accentuating the arms. Around the bodice, the pearl trim creates intricate patterns that catch the eye, enhancing the gown's allure with a touch of added sparkle. As the gown flows into the skirt, layers of satin create a breathtaking billow, drawing in at the waist before expanding outward into a fairy tale finish. Perhaps the most enchanting feature is the open heart-shaped back, artfully designed to reveal a hint of skin while exuding romance. This detail adds a surprising touch of sensuality to the gown, leaving a lasting impression as the bride turns and glides down the aisle in timeless elegance. I carefully lifted the gown over my head, the fabric flowing like water as it cascaded down around me. Slipping my arms into the sleeves, I felt a soft embrace that was both comforting and slightly overwhelming. As I reached for the back zipper, I took a deep breath, steadying myself for the moment when I would be fully enveloped in this cherished piece of my family's history. With a decisive motion, I pulled the zipper up, hearing the distinct sound of it gliding closed, sealing me into the gown. Determined, I reached behind me, my fingers trembling slightly with excitement, as I worked to fasten the intricate buttons that adorn the back. Each button slid into its corresponding loop closure with a small but meaningful effort, fully encasing myself in this symbol of love and celebration. The weight of the dress settled around me, the layers of silk and lace pressing gently against my skin, while the smoothness of the fabric sent waves of exhilaration coursing through my body. Finally, I buttoned the cuffs at my wrists, feeling an overwhelming sense of connection to my mother as I stood there, dressed in her wedding gown. It was a garment that held memories and emotions, and in that moment, I felt like I was a part of something far greater than myself, enveloped in a legacy of love and joy. I slowly stepped into the dimly lit hallway, where the full-length mirror stood, its surface gleaming under the soft light. With each deliberate step down the hall, my heels clicked rhythmically against the polished hardwood floor, the sound echoing through the space. The satin of my gown swirled around me, creating a soft swoosh that felt intoxicating. As I gazed into it, I barely recognized myself. I was finally the woman I had always dreamed of becoming, staring back at me with a newfound confidence. In that moment, I imagined myself as a bride on her wedding day, preparing for a life-changing union, filled with hope and anticipation for the love awaiting me at the altar. I then returned to my mother's room and sat on the bed, the gown encasing my body, its softness and fullness. I was too distracted to notice my mother and aunt smiling at me from the doorway. Somehow, they had come home earlier than expected, and I hadn't heard a thing. I was lost in a blissful haze, wholly absorbed in the moment. As the satin and lace draped around me, I felt an intoxicating euphoria wash over me until the realization hit me. I quickly snapped back to reality, and the joyful reverie evaporated as my mother spoke up. "I see my daughter looks so lovely in my wedding dress." I instantly became aware of their presence. I suddenly jolted upright, panic surging through me as a wave of humiliation washed over my entire being. My heart raced in my chest, thudding against my ribcage like a frantic drum. Words eluded me as I struggled to articulate the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to," I stammered, my voice trembling with an awkward mixture of fear and sincerity. The heat of embarrassment clung to my cheeks, a bright crimson flush that felt almost like fire. I glanced at my reflection in the nearby mirror, and the sight of my distressed expression only heightened my sense of dread. "I'll take it off right now," I blurted out, urgency lacing every syllable as I desperately sought to mend the situation. The color drained from my face, a lightheadedness setting in as the reality of my actions crashed down on me. My mother and aunt, sensing my rising distress, swiftly moved to my side and gently guided me back down to sit on the bed. The softness of the comforter contrasted sharply with the turmoil swirling inside me. "Mom," I whispered, trying to catch my breath, but it was my mother who spoke first, her voice soothing and tender. "Johnny, it's okay. Just calm down. You're not in trouble," she reassured me, her words wrapping around me like a warm blanket. "I've known for some time now that you were wearing mine and your aunt's clothes." Hearing that, a mix of relief and embarrassment washed over me, yet I still grappled with the whirlwind of emotions that had overtaken me. A look of confusion crept onto my face as I processed her words. "You did?" was all I could manage to say, my mind racing. She nodded gently, a warm smile softening her features. "Yes, my dear. I've sensed your uniqueness for quite a while now, but I didn't want to overwhelm you or cause you any distress." Her eyes sparkled with a knowing light as she continued. "I could tell something was amiss when my belongings weren't returned to their usual places, and I noticed my makeup had been used." She added, "Why do you think I allowed you to get your ears pierced? The wigs I purchased, the new clothing, the false breasts, what I must say, suit you very well." With the help of your aunt, I discreetly set up a hidden camera in our rooms, feeling a mix of anxiety and determination. "What where?" Mother had pointed out the vibrant flowers resting on her desk. "Over there, hidden in the flowers." That evening, we drove to the local coffee shop, parked in a corner where we could keep an eye on things without being noticed, and watched you from my phone. I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal and vulnerability. My secret had been laid bare, exposing me in a way I had never anticipated. But to my surprise, there was no anger in their eyes, only a blend of curiosity and understanding. My mother's voice broke the tension as she spoke softly. "I don't think this is just dress up. With the effort you put into this, you look beautiful. Tell me, dear, do you want to live as a girl?" "It's okay, John, I love you. You can be honest with me." Her words settled over me like a warm blanket, igniting a flicker of hope and acceptance I hadn't dared to imagine before. With a heart filled with renewed courage, I mustered the strength to speak softly. "Yes, Mom. I want to be a real girl. I always have." The weight of my desire hung in the air, and as my mother looked at me with a warm, understanding gaze, she smiled and said that she now had a daughter, the daughter she had always hoped for. She asked me if I felt better. To my own surprise, I realized that I truly did. A lightness enveloped me, replacing the uncertainty I had carried for so long. My mother then beckoned for me to stand up, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. I rose to my feet, my heart racing as both she and my aunt circled around me like two gentle guardians, showering me with compliments about how lovely I looked in my new outfit. Their words wrapped around me like a warm hug, boosting my confidence. Then my mother paused, a thoughtful look crossing her face. She turned to my aunt and remarked, "Something is missing, don't you agree?" The words lingered in the air, and I felt a flicker of curiosity. My aunt nodded in agreement, her expression serious yet playful. Without hesitation, she stepped out of the room, leaving me in a swirl of anticipation, Moments later, she returned, holding the most exquisite bridal bouquet of flowers I had ever seen. The vibrant colors and lush blooms seemed to radiate joy and elegance. "Every bride needs a bouquet," she declared with a smile, handing it to me. As I cradled the bouquet in my arms, I felt a surge of happiness, as if I had taken yet another step toward embracing the person I always wanted to be. My mother approached me with a glimmering pearl necklace in her hands. With a soft smile, she carefully clasped it around my neck, the cool pearls resting gently against my skin. The moment felt sacred, a rite of passage. In a heartbeat, she turned and opened her dresser drawer, revealing a small, ornate jewelry box nestled amongst the fabric and keepsakes. With a sense of reverence, she lifted the lid to unveil the stunning pieces inside. Her wedding set, sparkling with stories of love and commitment. One by one, she slipped the rings onto my fingers, their weight a reminder of the love that had come before me. With a voice that radiated warmth and depth of feeling, she declared, "Now you're a true wife." In that instant, my knees buckled beneath the weight of overwhelming joy and the profound significance of her words. The air around me seemed to shimmer with emotion, and for a fleeting moment, the world fell away. "John is not an appropriate name for a young lady. Do you have a name you wish to be addressed by?" she continued, her gaze encouraging me to share my true self. I nodded, a shy smile spreading across my face. "I like the name Joanna," I replied, my heart fluttering at the thought. My mother beamed with pride and warmth, her voice soft yet steady as she affirmed, "That's a lovely name, Joanna. It truly is." The affirmations wrapped around me like a comforting embrace, making the moment all the more special. Just then, my mother reached for her cell phone, a look of excitement crossing her face. "Come, Joanna," she said with enthusiasm, her eyes shining as bright as the rings that now adorned my hands. "Let's take some pictures of my daughter on her wedding day." After spending several hours taking pictures and chatting happily, Mother finally announced that it was time to get ready for bed. With a gentle smile, she and my aunt helped me out of the delicate gown I had been wearing. We carefully folded it, ensuring that all wrinkles were smoothed out, and placed it back neatly into the garment bag from which it came, then returned it to the closet with great care. As I stepped away from the closet, Mother admired the lingerie I was wearing, and with a warm expression, handed me a beautiful, white, floor-length bridal nightgown. "Why don't you change into this?" she suggested, her voice soft and encouraging. Taking the garment, I walked into her bathroom, the air filled with a faint, soothing fragrance. I changed out of my bridal lingerie, feeling the cool fabric of the nightgown against my skin as I slipped it on. It felt luxurious and comforting. When I returned to Mother's room, I found her elegantly dressed in a blush-colored silk nightgown that flowed gracefully around her. My aunt was also there, looking lovely in a green silk nightgown that complemented her figure beautifully. The three of us now stood together, wrapped in soft fabrics, and the warm glow of the evening, ready to settle down for the night. "Come on, Joanna, let's head to the kitchen for some tea before bedtime," my mom said with a warm smile. My aunt, however, excused herself, tiredness evident in her voice. "I've had a long day and need to get to bed," she said with a gentle wave. "I'll talk to you ladies in the morning." With that, she retreated to her room, leaving the soothing ambiance of the kitchen awaiting us. Mother held my hand as we made our way down the softly lit hallway. I could feel the comforting hum of the house around us. In the cozy warmth of the kitchen, Mom and I sat together, sharing a steaming cup of tea that filled the air with a soothing aroma. We engaged in a heartfelt conversation that felt significant, marking a turning point in my life. "Joanna, my dear," she said gently, her eyes sparkling with understanding, "since you're so adamant about embracing your identity as a girl, I will support you in living as a real girl from this moment on, as long as that's what you truly desire." A wave of joy washed over me at her words, but a question nagged at the back of my mind. "But what about school?" I asked, my voice tinged with apprehension. Mom's reassuring smile never wavered. "I'll handle that. As long as you're able to step out into the world as Joanna instead of John, I will be here to support you every step of the way in this new chapter of your life. I'll speak with the doctor tomorrow, and we'll work together to navigate everything from there." With that, we finished our tea, the warmth of our conversation lingering in the air. Mom stood up and walked me to my bedroom, and to my surprise, I found my bedding had been changed. It now exuded elegance, adorned in soft satin like that of my mother and aunt, a true reflection of the new life I was stepping into. Sweet dreams, Joanna. Your new life has just begun, Mom whispered softly as she tucked me in, and I closed my eyes, filled with hope and excitement for the journey ahead. A knock on my door interrupts my moment of contemplation. Joanna, dear, are you ready? The wedding starts in an hour. We still need to get you to the church on time, coming mother.